second, I think. I know I'm definitely gonna get serious when I start doing the push-up pyramid.
The what?
Oh, you're gonna learn today. You're gonna have a great time.
Ooh, those traps, boy!
Alright, so we got, hold up. What's up, homies? We got the push-up pyramid today. Alright, push-up pyramid. 10 push-ups, body weight, 5 on the medicine ball, and then we move up a level. Alright? And then we're coming back down. We're doing that twice.
Okay, wait, what?
Push-up holds on the Bosu ball. Alright, then we're gonna flip it over. And then we got side plank on one side for 30 seconds, side plank on the other side for 30 seconds. Alright, we're gonna do that for 5 rounds.
Okay, YouTube, some of you guys wanted some more explanations for all of my videos that are including workout clips. So here we go. I'm going to explain some of this leg day that Olivia and I did. So the first exercise that we did was a group of 3 different exercises with glute kickbacks with the band you can see that I'm using right now. I'm able to hold myself up. I might kind of stumble a little bit, but if you need assistance, just grab onto whatever is closest for you for balance. And make sure that you're really squeezing that glute at the top. You're not trying to kick up as high as you can. You're not a freaking ballerina here. You're really just trying to contract those glute muscles every single time, and it should really burn in your glutes. The next exercise that we're going to move on to here is I'm going to grab this kettlebell and we're just going to do some Romanian deadlifts. I always focus on keeping my core tight, trying to keep my back flat, really pushing through those hamstrings. And I almost round my shoulders just a little bit to try and alleviate some of that stress on my lower back and make sure that I'm squeezing those glutes. Your butt should look ugly at the top of these. You're not trying to look like some Instagram model here. Really make sure that you're stretching those hamstrings all the way out, squeezing at the bottom, and then big squeeze at the top. And the next exercise that we did for this tricep is this variation of a Kang squat. So you guys have probably seen me doing Kang squats before. Here we're doing it with just a dumbbell. And what you're doing is you're almost doing a good morning. You're really getting low and loading up that hamstring. And at the very bottom, you're going to drop it. And it should really fire up your quads. Make sure that you're always keeping your core tight, your back straight. You're not arching your neck up to look at yourself in the mirror to see how good you look. And really focusing on the exercise and each component of the Kang squat. It's not one fluid motion, it is 2 exercises in one. The next set that we did was a superset, and I'm being perverted. It was sumo squats, superset with jump squats. So with the sumo squat, you really want to make sure that those feet are wide apart. You're squeezing with the glutes at the top and keeping that stance the entire time. Really important, of course, to keep that core engaged, keeping your chest up. And your hands for a sumo squat should be just inside your legs. They should not be all the way out. It's not a snatch grip here. You can do double overhand or double underhand. I think Olivia and I did alternating grip for this just to make sure that we're really focusing on the actual sumo pull itself. Jump squats are pretty self-explanatory. I really do not focus on making sure my squat form is perfect, really just focusing more on that explosiveness. Try to make sure that you're going down low enough. I'm sure I wasn't in this video. It's kind of hard to tell because it's sped up. But really just making sure that you are getting that explosive power at the top. And here on my sumo squats, you can really see that I'm pushing those hips forward at the top and squeezing with my glutes. And then a little bit of posing, because that's always fun. I'm about 10 weeks out from show right now, so I'm going to be doing lots of posing in between sets. So this is our last group of exercises. It was a jump pulse squat, so you can see I'm kind of pulsing at the bottom before exploding up. After we did that, we grabbed this band and we were doing sidewalks with the band. So you can see it's looped around my feet, adding a lot of resistance. This is really going to help fire up those hip adductor muscles and the outside of your glute, hitting that IT band as well. And then the last part of this exercise was hip thrusts. I used the weighted ball just for a little bit of extra resistance. And with these, always making sure I keep my toes up, my heels dug into the ground, and every time squeezing the glutes at the top.
A whole Amazon queen. Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, them abs, they coming through.
What are they?
Okay, YouTube, you guys are always asking me to see more of Negan, and I'm more than happy to oblige. We go over some of his training a little bit every day. Sometimes we go for a little bit longer than others, but always making sure to get some sort of practice in. So here I'm practicing, just as a warm-up, his basic commands, which is plots and sit. He does still like to get a little bit too excited and bark at me sometimes. I think his favorite command is kill, which is what I ask him when I ask him to bark. So we go over that kind of as like a little warm-up to get him into the game. And then we start going over his positionings. So he has a couple different positions that he knows. The key one, of course, is heel. From heel, he knows back, which is to stand behind me and protect my back. He also knows a pretty cool one. I say, watch me, and he'll actually face towards my back so he can watch whatever's going on behind me. He knows front, which is what's going to be when you see him, whenever he puts his butt in between my legs and faces in the same direction as me, that's front. He knows stand, which is to kind of block off the front area of me or stand up in front of me with his body kind of aligned with my legs, I guess. And he does know right, which is when I want him to stand on my right instead of at the heel position. And then as soon as we get done going over positionings, and he's kind of a little goof. Sometimes front command takes him a little bit longer, but you know, he's young, he's learning, and he gets so excited, especially if I use hot dogs for training, which we do sometimes. After we get done with our positioning, we move into practicing more of his task training. So technically his positioning is included in his task training, and that's just, when I say task training, that's what he does as a service dog. So one of his tasks is, of course, his positioning. And what that does is it helps me create a barrier so that people can't get too close to me when I don't want them to. His second task that he does, and you'll see me here in a little bit, I'm going to sit on the floor and I will scratch at my wrists. And anybody with anxiety, you know that sometimes, I don't know what the deal is, but it makes you get itchy. So I will start to, scratch at my arms or my wrists, sometimes at my face, and he is trained to disrupt the behavior. So what you're seeing him do right now is he is pawing my arm, and he is trained to like just keep doing that and keep getting more and more pestering until I stop the behavior. The second thing that he's trained to do is I'll put my head in my hands just like that, and he's supposed to come up, and that's when he's supposed to give me kisses. Sometimes he'll kind of lay in my lap, but he's again keep yawning, trained to disrupt that behavior. This is something that we work on a lot, but only more so because sometimes he gets a little bit too excited. I have gotten, not really black eyes, but he's biffed me a couple of times to where my eyes get teary. And we go over this kind of stuff every single day because, you know, it's still fresh in his mind. He's still learning. He's still practicing. But he is done with his training, and we have to recertify. We have to send in a video since we moved away once a year showing that he still knows how to do this stuff. But he's been a great addition to my treatment for my different mental health disorders. I love him so much. He's such a great dog, and you guys are going to see lots more of him.
Okay, so my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and my dad ordered me a very special birthday present, but it took a little while to get here. It's finally here. I can't put it up until I get the rest of my furniture, so that's okay. But I want to film the big reveal for you guys. This is my new gun safe. So this bad boy is from Metal Art of Wisconsin. I will tag them below. This is their wall-mounted gun safe. I don't know if it's locked right now. Is it locked? It's locked. Okay, this is gonna take some figuring out. Let me see here. Okay.
6.5 hours later.
Oh my gosh. That took so long. So there's these foam pads in here that you can remove, and then I will cut custom shapes for my current 2 pistols, and then my next adventure is probably going to be an AR-10 or an AR-15. You can put whatever you want in here, obviously. They come with these little key fobs, and then you just have to find this little magnetic piece before you can lock or unlock it. But this is really heavy duty. It's great wood. It's gorgeous. It's decorative and badass. And I will kind of give you guys like a little apartment tour and everything, but this is not going to get mounted until my couch is on here, which is going to be April 2nd. But thank you, Daddy. This is a badass 25th birthday present, and I can't wait to get all my guns in it. And shout out to Metal Art of Wisconsin. This is seriously like the coolest thing ever. I will link their page down in the description.